Alright, welcome back everybody to another edition of the Daily Grind. But today, well, at least this episode we will be doing today because I gotta play catch up. I was lax yesterday. Had so many eBay packages come in. You guys can see those openings here shortly. Like I said, again, I'm trying to spread everything out so it's not like you're totally inundated in one day with 50 videos. So, spreading everything out across, multiple days. If not weeks, if not months. So, but anyways, today is going to be a day of cracking packs. So first, let's go to the store, see if we can get a cheap pack. As sometimes they do. To up our total. Oh, is it a foil? Or is it a stained glass? What? I don't understand. What is it? It doesn't say what it is. Is it a stained glass? What is it? It just says it's Mew Yangling. Are they actually selling singles? Oh, it's an avatar. Sure. Okay. I'm like, it doesn't say what it is. What the hell is it? Let me know what it is. Alright, yeah, we'll pick that up for 250 gold. I mean, I still got plenty of gold, plenty of gems. And plenty of packs, which is what we're going to do today. We're going to do a nice 2021 core opening of 176. That's right, folks. 176 packs. Alright, so are you guys ready? So, well, I'm thinking with okay, so let's go look at my decks, and then after we open the packs I will do a separate video on some deck building, because there are a couple decks I definitely want to build. I want to try a dog deck. Got to revamp all of these decks, at least the ones that need it. So let's go to my collection. I wonder how many 2021 cards I already have collected for, of course, 2021. Okay. So let's go collected and not collected. So I mean, obviously there's going to be quite a few cards. We only did what, one sealed, 3 or 4 drafts. I mean, most of the commons, in all honesty, guys, I'm probably going to have quite a bit of, just from the sealed alone. Especially in the colors I played. I got 1 Teferi already, so that's nice. No, I won't play blue. I refuse. No, I have to. I have to indulge the masses and probably make a Teferi Master Time deck at some point. But I mean, we got a fair amount of cards. Nothing amazing, a decent amount, but we're going to see. I mean, like, it's not going to give me any fabled passages because I already have 4 from Throne. So that's the new thing with it, is if it's like in all the temples, won't need the temples either, because I think I got all the temples. Alright, anyway, so let's go back to packs. And the first pack we're going to crack, and we're going to discuss some of the cards a little by little. I'm not going to go in depth with anything. I already got another mythic. Very nice. Some commons and uncommons, because apparently I have all the commons and uncommons. No, I don't know why they do that just randomly, but Basri's Lieutenant. So it's a 3/4 for 1 white, 3 colorless. And it's a creature human knight that has vigilance, protection from multicolored. So already you're getting value, because for 4 mana you got a 3/4, right? Vigilance should add another mana. Protection from multicolored should add another mana. Now you have an ability: when Basri's Lieutenant enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So it should be another mana. When Basri's Lieutenant or another creature you control dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. So another ability. So, like, counters are a thing in 2021, and I probably will make some type of counter deck. Like, +1/+1 counters, not counter as in counter spell, but +1/+1 counters. I mean, technically this should be at least probably a 5 casting cost, if not 6. But so he's good value, and he will be seen and he will be used, folks. Very much so. All right, on to the next pack. All right, we got a couple uncommons. I'm not going to go over the uncommons like I usually do. I'm just going to go over the rares, which is pretty easy when it's a rare gold card, huh? All right, or a wild card, I should say, not gold card. A rare gold, a wild card. It is gold because it's for a rare, but all right. Shock, always good to see Shock in the set. Heroic Intervention. Now this is a big one for paper. Because, I mean, as an instant, for 1 green, 1 colorless, especially in green, permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Say hello to no board wipe from blue or white. Shatter the Sky? Nope! You know, so, but, again, you know, we're going to have to see because the Veiled Bottom from got banned so last year, which, I mean, yeah, it was overpowered and uncommon, but still, this is the same. This is stopping blue, and apparently when blue or white control gets stopped, people bitch enough that a card gets banned from green. You know mean green. On to the next pack, guys. Yay! More uncommons that I don't freaking need. Oh my god, when they finally released some sets, I saw they're releasing, what was it? Was it Dragons or Cons? No. Aether Revolt, I think, is the set that's coming out for Historic, and they were going to release the whole set, so it's like, okay, here, let me just buy them all. So we got Jarell, Monvuli Recluse. I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to say it with an accent because it sounds weird. Alright, so for a 1 green, 1 colorless, you get a 1/2 legendary creature, human druid. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 green cat creature token. Now notice it says each turn, so it doesn't even have to be on your turn. You just have to draw 2 cards. So in a green-blue deck, and on your opponent's turn, you opt twice. Guess what? You get a 2/2 green cat creature token. So, and for 4 colorless and 2 green, until end of turn, creatures you control have base power and toughness XX, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So, most definitely effective in some type of draw mechanic deck. And green has a lot of draw mechanic as well. So, green-blue, a Simic deck of some sort would probably work really, really well. On to the next pack, guys. Alright, another Tazri's Lieutenant. We've already discussed him, his uses, and yes, you will probably see him in a deck build of mine, if not across the internet already. By the time this video comes out, well, no, it'll come. It's only been a week since release, so it's not too bad. A week and a half. I don't know. Double Vision, guys. So Double Vision is really going to be one of those cards that you want to keep an eye on, because it may pop up and all of a sudden, like Splinter Twin, just all of a sudden become a dominant deck. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And again, it just keeps giving me wild card commons, uncommons. I think I might go through all my sets and just start filling in where I don't have commons and uncommons. All right, next rare, guys, on this pack. Ooh, yes, Rujin. Reprint and much anticipated, and you will see him being thrown into busted decks all over the place. So like this would get around, no, because it doesn't target. So yeah, this would get around the heroic green card because it exiles each permanent. It doesn't target with converted mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. So Yeah, that would be one way that Control can get rid of other cards, which is what it needs, right? Control needs more ways to get rid of creatures than just go, you can't do anything unless I say so. On to the next pack, guys. We have a Mazemind Tomb. So one of those rares that, like, at first glance is like, could be good, and then you're like, not really, and we'll never see play and end up in the 10-cent bin. Next pack. Angelic Ascension. So nice to see that. We have 9 lives, so yes, another crappy rare. So it is an enchantment with hexproof, right? For 2 white, 1 colorless. If a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. When there are 9 or more incarnation counters on 9 lives, exile it. When 9 lives leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So, first of all, yes, it has hexproof, but think about things like Ujin. Okay, I exile all permanents with 3 or less casting cost. Bye, you just lost the game. There are so many ways to get rid of this card. It should never, ever, 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 ever be played, guys. Seriously, if you make a deck around this that is successful, please share it with me, because I'd like to know. I mean, I might experiment with it a bit, but I seriously doubt I will be able to create something that makes it viable. On to the next pack. We have Containment Priest, who's going to be a big one, because it stops graveyard recursion in, like, especially with some of the stuff that, like, for, like, Uru, you know, it's like, the non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. So, like, coming from the graveyard, or an effect that brings a creature back into play from the graveyard, that kind of stuff. So you will see that as a countermeasure in some white decks. Plus, I mean, she's flash and she's 2/2, so it's in a sense a counter spell, I guess, because you could be like, they go and cast something that says, when such and such a creature enters play, return target creature card from your graveyard, and you flash that in, and it's like, oops, nope, sorry, it's countered, and then you got a 2/2 for 2. So it's not bad, especially if you have a way to, like, protect her or flash her in and out, that type of thing. So more for my Zorius flyer deck, without a doubt. We will go through and revamp that at some point, because it needed revamping to begin with. I thought I already had 4 Temples of Epiphany. I thought I wasn't supposed to get one. I guess I didn't, so okay. Between 2020 and everything else, I could have swore I was not supposed to get any temples. Alright, next one. Runed Halo. So again, a card that I think is probably not going to see a lot of play. One, it's double white, so you're going to see a lot more multicolored decks being played. So double white, it's an enchantment, which is good because enchantment decks are popular right now. Still with Theros in play and rotation. It could see some potential, like in all that glitters decks. But as Rune Hail enters the battlefield, choose a card name. You have protection from the chosen card name. So the only thing I could stipulate is that if that had flash, so you could do it in response to someone doing something. You I would put it in a deck and say, like, if I'm going against cycling, and say Zenith Flare, right? Oh, you can't Zenith Flare me anymore. Ha. Anyways, on to the next pack, guys. Alright, so, like, still more common wild cards. Seriously, guys, I'm going to go through and just use up, like, a frick ton, or go into Historic and find some. And we got a mythic rare wild card. So let's just keep building those up. Alright, on to the next then. Because I know I don't have all the mythics, so I don't understand the mythic rare wildcard in a pack thing. Another uncommon.
If I don't have a plan,
yes, another
I'll just
Teferi,
make one
because
up.
I am going to have to build a Teferi deck. I know it's going to kill me, it's going to pain me. You guys are probably going to cry, because I will be playing some blue just to play test it and maybe get a few, just maybe even to show how broken fucking Teferi is, because oh my god. Alright, on to the next. We have an Idol of Endurance. So for a 1 white 2 colorless, you get an artifact, right? When Idol of Endurance enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards with a converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard until Idol of Endurance leaves the battlefield. For 1 white 1 colorless, tap until end of turn. You may cast a creature spell from among the cards exiled with Idol of Endurance without paying its mana cost. So you could technically get a, just keep repeating your low cost cast cost, your low casting cost creatures. I can see this being used in some type of Lurrus build, if it isn't already. I haven't really checked on decks this week to see where standard lies, but in a Lurrus build, this would just be freaking insane. Lurrus sacrifice build, just. Oh wait, let me reread that one. So you'd have to flash this in and out. No, because then maybe, okay, maybe not. I don't know. There's going to be some way around it. I can guarantee it. Next pack, guys. And we get another uncommon. Whatever. Demonic Embrace. So for 2 black, 1 colorless, you get an enchantment, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+1 and has flying and is a demon in addition to its other type. So far all positive, right? And you may cast Demonic Embrace from your graveyard by paying 3 life and discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost. So really solid card. You can expect to see it in many graveyard recursion builds. Alright, on to the next pack, guys. And we get another Mazemind Tomb. On to the next pack. We're not going to waste time on repeat rare. Subara Tulzidi Caravaner. So it's a legendary creature, human shaman for 1 red, 2 colorless as a 2/3 that has haste. Okay, so you're already getting a positive with the haste. 1, you don't have to tap, just 1. Another target creature with power 2 or less can be blocked this turn. So you can use it multiple instances in the same combat. And 1 white or 1 red, 1 colorless, tap. Discard your hand until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So I mean, you could see this going in some type of Cavalcade build, I guess, because like, would that work with Cavalcade? Because is it Cavalcade that is doing the damage? I guess I'd have to read Cavalcade, or is it the creature? I guess I'll have to look into that, and it might be fitting into one of those decks. Alright, this one, I do love the Conclave Mentor. We've talked about it before. It is busted, especially in, like I said, the counter deck that I'm probably going to build. These are rare. Ooh, Conspicuous Snoop. So, I like this card. It is a 2/2 for 2 red. So, I mean, it's going to go into a mono red deck of some sort, right? That creates a Goblin Rogue. So, play with the top card of your library revealed. You may cast Goblin spells from the top of your library. As long as the top card of your library is a Goblin card, Conspicuous Snoop has all activated abilities of that card. So, I not only expect to see him be prominent in some standard decks, but look towards Modern and Legacy. I mean, he has the ability to be in those type of decks. Alright, on to the next. You get Vito! So this guy's already starting to show some promise in sales and whatnot. He is requested by many people. Thorn of the Dusk Rose. So for 1 black and 2 colorless, you get a 1/3. So not exactly standard, right? He's a legendary creature, Vampire Cleric. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So, think right now with Throne, guys, okay? Think about food tokens. That's right. Hey, I gain 3 life, you lose 3 life. So, that's, and like with the new Witch Cauldron, I think it is, where you sack a creature, and with the oven already out, man, just look for many variations of sack mechanic decks, especially where life gain and loss are involved. And then the bigger part is for 5 black mana creatures you control, gain lifelink until end of turn. Here, let me do an all-out swing, and regardless if you block or not, if you kill all my creatures and they're doing damage to your creatures and your creatures don't die, guess what? You still do. Because it is a loss of life. It can't be prevented. Alright, on to the next pack, guys. Let's see what we got. Radha, Heart of Keld. Radha. So for 1 green, 1 red, 1 colorless, so a very Gruul build, and her abilities are very Gruul. You get a 3/3 legendary creature, Elf Warrior, that has, as long as it's your turn, Radha, Heart of Keld has first strike, alright? Which is a red ability, obviously, first strike. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands from the top of your library. So, again, a green ability there. And then for 4 colorless, 1 green, 1 red, Radha gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of lands you control. So they kind of combine the two. Normally a +X ability is for red, but it's based on your lands, which is green. So you could see her coming out in some Gruul builds, maybe some Elf decks in EDH. Another free card, and another Demonic Embrace. Awesome. I mean, once we get down to probably less than 100 packs, we won't start seeing a lot of Animal Sanctuary. So this is one of those lands that is like, but I am going to try to possibly build a dog cat deck, and we will see if this works out. But yeah, it's a land that you can tap for a colorless, or for 2 colorless tap, put a +1/+1 counter on target bird, cat, dog, goat, ox, or snake. Now, I have no idea why they chose the other stuff, the bird, the goat, the ox, or the snake. I mean, the dog, cat are obvious. That's kind of part of the theme of Core 21, but where the rest came from, no clue. I mean, obviously, there's going to be cards in the set that are snakes and birds and oxes and goats, but still. The bird is pretty standard in almost every set, so that you see some, but like oxes and snakes and goats? Goats, people? Goats? 2 goats, 1 boob. Alright, we got Garruk Unleashed. So Garruk is pretty standard Garruk. He's back to his old form. Mono green. So for 2 green, 2 colorless, you get a 4 loyalty Planeswalker, legendary Planeswalker, Garruk, that has +1 up to 1 target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. For -2, you create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Then, if an opponent controls more creatures than you, put a loyalty counter on Garuk. So you can basically, like, if your opponent has like 3 creatures, you have 1, you create a token. You now have 2, but he still has more than you. So you get to pump them back up. So you get a 3/3 for 1 in essence, for -1, I should say. And at -7, we get Garuk Unleashed. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, you may search your library for a creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So read that very carefully, guys. You get an emblem with at the beginning. So remember, there's no freaking way to get rid of emblems, alright? At the beginning of your end step, you may search your library for a creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Oops, here's my Emrakul. Bam! I mean, it's as simple as that. So you could see a lot of potential. Alright, next pack, guys, we have another rare wild card. And a 9 lives. Bye! Next pack, please. I want to get those out of the way so bad. Cards that are completely and utterly useless. Alright, Hooded Blightfang. So this guy is actually pretty good. So for 1 black and 2 colors, you get a 1/4 creature snake with Death Touch. So he has some power to kill, and he has blocking capabilities with that 4 big old butt, right? But whenever a creature you control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. So again, think about this with Veto, okay? And then whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a Planeswalker, destroy that Planeswalker. Oh, you got 7 loyalty on your Teferi and about to go off on him? Oh, shucks. Look, my 1/1 Death Toucher just touched him, and now he's dead. So, lots of uses for that, and expect to see that played in some sort of deck. On to the next pack, guys. Alright, on to the next with Volcanic Salvo. So, for 2 red and 10 colorless. So you guys like, what the hell? I'm never going to have 12 mana. But, listen. For 2 red, 10 colorless, you get a sorcery, where this spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. So even if you have like 5 2/2s out, all of a sudden you get a 2 casting cost sorcery that does 6 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. So it's your way to get rid of fatties. And I did it in sealed if you guys take a peek at some of my, or it's not sealed, but draft. On to the next, we have another uncommon, but Thieves Guild Enforcer. So I'm still hesitant about this guy. He is a 1/1 human rogue for 1 black that has flash, so big bonus, right? Because black doesn't have a lot of flash. But whenever Thieves Guild Enforcer or another rogue enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 2 cards. So it's a mill effect. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, Thieves Guild Enforcer gets +2/+1 and has Death Touch. So comes a 3/2. It doesn't even have to be the mill effect. You could just flash it in late game, and all of a sudden you got a 3/2 Death Toucher, right? So it's not bad, but I don't know. I think you will see it because I think rogues are going to be a thing. I may even make the rogue deck. On to the next, guys. We're going to get another mythic here, a mythic wild card and a few. Bazri's Lieutenant, so that's 3. I think I drafted 1, so that should be my playset already. On to the next. Come on, another Maze Mine Tomb. Is that our 3rd one? I think so. On to the next. And we get a mythic. Yay! And we got a rare wild card. On to the next. This is going to be quick. And 9 lives. Yay. If they're going to keep giving me the ones I already got, wow. It's going to be real quick. And then I'm going to be pissed because I want some. I already had a conspicuous snoop. How many rares do I have? I have 75. 75. I might have to use them on this because they're going to give me playsets of all the crap cards. Well, there's some good cards in there. Basri, Snoop are all good. Nyambi. Okay, so esteemed speaker. So she is for all about the blue-white control, man. She is a 2/1 for 1 blue, 1 white, a legendary creature, human cleric that has flash. So again, because they need flash. Ugh. When Nyambi, esteemed speaker, enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, you gain life equal to that creature's converted mana cost. So it is an unsummon with a bonus of gaining life. So there's the blue-white. But it has flash, and it's a 2/1, so it's a creature, so it's more than that. Plus, you get the ability to, for 1 blue, 1 white, 1 colorless, tap, discard a legendary card, draw 2 cards. So how many times have you guys, like, seriously, I mean, nobody's going to get rid of a Teferi, right? It's just not going to happen. You could have 3 Teferis in your opening hand, you're going to keep them. But say you have Nyambi out and you draw another Nyambi. Oh, no, I've just gained 2 more cards that way. So, expect to see her in some decks. On to the next, guys. Have a pursued whale. There's always the big blue fat water creature, isn't there? Every single set there is the big blue, whether it be a kraken, a whale, something. So for 2 blue, 5 colorless, you get an 8/8 that says when creature whale, when pursued whale enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a 1/1 red pirate creature token with this creature can't block. And creatures you control attack each combat if able. Spells your opponent casts that target pursued whale cost 3 more to cast. So, I mean, obviously the inference to Moby Dick here is huge, right, guys? So, I love how they do the inference, like this King Kong. I don't like how they outright, oh, we're going to call it Godzilla. So, I don't know. I think you can honestly say this is probably going to be used in Commander a lot, just because it has the effect that each opponent creates a 1/1. So if you're playing like five people Commander, 5 or 6 people in a group, you cast this. It doesn't even have to be cast. It just enters the battlefield, so you can resurrect it or bring it back from the grave. Creates a 1/1 red pirate token creature that says this creature can't block, and creatures you control attack each able to combat if able. So now you've just made it so I have this big fat 8/8 and you were sitting back with your little 2/2 or whatever that gives you this ability to play lands or whatever. Nope. They have to attack unless they get rid of that pirate. So it'll be an interesting effect. Especially, I mean, I don't see it standard play wise. I do see it in other formats. On to the next pack, guys. Another Radha. On to the next pack, which will give us another rare. Animal Sanctuary again. Wow, guys. So many repeats tonight, like, it's ridiculous. Okay, next pack. Conspicuous Snoop. Is there something wrong with this algorithm? Alright, Fiery Emancipation. So, for 3 red, 3 colorless, you get a red enchantment that says if a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple damage to that permanent or player instead. So, yes, the casting cost is high, but think about this with effects like, oh, I don't know, Tobran out, Cavalcade out. Just insane. So I mean, I don't think there's viability as of yet, but I'm waiting for the deck that proves that I am wrong. All right, we got a whole bunch more uncommon commons. Wild cards. Demonic Embrace again. On to the next. So I think I got playsets of all that shit that I've already opened. Pack leader. Here we go. Here's my dog that I'm going to start building probably a deck around. So for 1 colorless, 1 white, you get a 2/2 creature dog, where other dogs you control have +1/+1. Whenever pack leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs you control. Think about that, people. They can't block and kill off your dog. They can't. It's just like if you got pump spells, especially with like felines in there and stuff. Oh. I am truly going to try to build that deck. Because what is the Ren in Siri? It's white, red, green, I think, right? So you got your cats are red and green. You got dogs that are red and white. So I think that's the plan. On to the next pack, guys. Primal Might. Another good get rid of creatures with a green spell. Because again, this is like a fight, but you don't take any damage to your creature. Or no, wait, it does. This one does. I'm thinking of the other one. So this one is for 1 green X. Target creature you control gets +X until end of turn. Then it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So, I mean, you can pump it immeasurably, right? And so say there's a 6/6 on the board, you have a 3/3. You give yours +6/6. And so it kills it off. It really doesn't take any real damage, but now say that was their only blocker. You now have a 9/3 coming through. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty solid in any green deck, I believe. Especially any mono green deck that's creature heavy. Alright, we have a Peer into the Abyss. So and I love the artwork on this, guys. The artwork, just look at the eyes have the faces, and then the faces have the eyes. It's just so awesome. Izzy does an amazing job with artwork. Anyways, Peer into the Abyss is a 3 black, 4 colorless sorcery. Okay, so you think, oh my freaking god, high casting cost, it'll never get played. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life, round up each time. So, I mean, mill decks are probably always a thing in core sets, and especially in limited and draft that you're going to see it. I don't know if people are going to make viable decks in standard or other formats with it, but I know they will try. I know. But with that, I would like to say I love the Indulgent Patrician. She will be in my freaking vampire deck, guys, without a doubt. She may replace the Aerialist once rotation hits, for sure. All right, on to the next pack, guys. We have got dun, 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 another temple. I thought I had Temples of Malady. On to the next pack. Another Jarail. Alright, on to the next pack. We are going to get through these quickly. And a Mythic. Alright, Mythic Wildcard. On to the next pack. Holy cow. We're going to get through these really quickly. See the Truth. So See the Truth is a sorcery, a blue sorcery for 1 blue, 1 colorless, that states, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of those cards into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. If this spell was cast from anywhere other than your hand, put each of those cards into your hand instead. So, say you cast it, right, it goes into your graveyard, you have, I forget its name, the elemental that when you attack with it, you can return a sorcery or instant spell or cast from your graveyard. So you could draw 3 cards with that. So I don't know. There's a lot of ways to get that sorcery or instant. Chandra, I think, is another one that you can pull the sorcery or instant from your graveyard. So lots of ways, and especially in a red deck, I think that would just make so much sense because red usually lacks card draw. So I expect to see that be played. Expect to see it in some form or another. On to the next pack. We have a Temple of Truth. On to the next pack. Like I said, I could have swore I had all my defense decks. That's why I was really looking forward to this, because I thought I wouldn't get a bunch of junk. Ruined Halo again. On to the next. Shacklegeist. Okay, so for 2/2, for 1 blue, 1 color, you get a 2/2 creature spirit that has flying. Shacklegeist can only block creatures with flying. Tap to untap spirits you control. Tap target creature you don't control. So if you can tap 2 spirits, you get to tap a creature, basically. And you can do that endlessly. There is no mana cost or tapping of the Shacklegeist itself, or even if the Shacklegeist is tapped, you could still use the ability. So Teferi's Ageless Insight. So we've already got a couple of these from drafts, and I talked about it a little bit, but so for 2 blue, 2 colorless, you get a legendary enchantment, where if you would draw a card, except the first one you draw on each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. So opt, oh, I get 2 cards. You know, I mean, like, blue needs more card draw, right? Holy cow, people. Anyways, on to the next. Yeah, you can probably expect to see that in control decks. Kervik, the Spiteful. So, Kervik is an old character. I'm glad he kind of made a little comeback. So for 2 black, 2 colorless, you get a 3/2 legendary creature, human wizard, or human warlock. I forgot warlocks are the black new. Other creatures get -1/-1. Now that affects both your opponents and your creatures. So if you're playing in a deck where you have a lot of heavy hitters, it's probably good. If you have a lot of little weenie creatures, not so good. But it also is a form of permanent board wipe, or against a mono red goblin or something. Cavalcade. Alright, on to the next, guys. We have a Sanctum of All. So the shrines are one of the mechanics brought back from Kamigawa, which leads me to believe in a sense that, see, my thought is really going towards the next return set. So we got Zendikar Rising this fall. And then we got an unnamed set, which supposedly should be a new world, right? And then we will have our well, wait, did we do 2 returns this past year? We did 2 returns, didn't we? Because we did Throne, which is the new one. Oh, they keep going back and forth, don't they? Because then we did Throne, which was a new world. We did Theros, which is an old world. We did Ikoria, which is a new world. We did the Core, so the Core will always remain the Core. And then so now we will be going back to Zendikar, and then we will do a new world. And then my thoughts is that I really think we're going to return to New Phyrexia, aka Mirrodin. But with the shrines that came out, we could see a return to Kamigawa. I doubt it. I really think New Phyrexia is next, but we will see. But anyway, so we got the Sanctum of All. So the Sanctum of All is a legendary enchantment shrine for 1 of each color. You got white, blue, black, red, and green. That says, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library and/or graveyard for a shrine card and put it onto the battlefield. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. If an ability of another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability triggers an additional time. So you have the possibility, like, by turn 6, you're going to have, actually by turn 5, because you already have this one out. Plus, you probably already have other shrines out. You could just start kicking off shrine abilities non-stop every turn. Shrine deck, maybe? We'll think about it. I'll add it to my list of decks to make. So, actually, let me write it down, because I will forget. I am like that. Um, Shrine deck. There we go. It's a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll tinker around with it. I'll probably invite you guys to watch while I frustrate myself on trying to make a good shrine deck. All right, our next pack is Baron. Welcome back, Baron. Tolarian Archmage. So for 2 blue, 1 colorless, you get a legendary creature, Human Wizard. When Baron Tolarian Archmage enters the battlefield, return up to 1 other target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put into your hand from the battlefield this turn, draw a card. So it's a way, say you use up one of your War of the Spark non-plussing planeswalkers, like say Narset, and you keep using her ability, and then like she's down to nothing, so you just return to your hand. You get to draw a card, and you get to put her back down, right? So win-win, because blue needs that. Once again, on to the next pack, guys. Can you feel my hatred of blue? I mean, like I said, I used to be a blue control player. I did it in many PTQs, Grand Prix, but the way they just saturate the field with blue. Peer into the abyss again. So we already got that one. The artwork, amazing. On to the next. Down to 120 packs now, guys. Sublime Epiphany. So for 2 blue, 4 colorless. A lot. Blue always has like such heavy casting cost cards. But it is an instant. So for 6 mana, a 6 mana instant, guys, choose 1 or more. You can counter target spell. You can counter target activated or triggered ability. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. And target player draws a card. So, like, you do get 5 different things you can do, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 6 mana. So, if you could use all of them at once, it would be pretty cool. Be like, nah, I'm doing this, this, and this. You can't do this, and I'm going to draw a card. You know, it would be pretty cool if someone gets that out and gets to use all the abilities at once, but it's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. On to the next pack. We have a Sanctum of All again. On to the next pack. We've got the Guild Enforcer again. On to the next pack. A lot of repeats, guys. The algorithm is just screwed up right now. Broken text. Idol of Endurance again. On to the next pack. Because I know there are a ton of cards. See, Scavenging Ooze. So Scavenging Ooze brought back, resurrected, right? It is a 1 green, 1 colorless, 2/2 creature ooze for 1 green. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on Scavenging Ooze, and you gain 1 life. So very useful in today's format with so many things that have recursion from the graveyard. You can even do it in response to them targeting a card in their graveyard. So that's what makes it so good, and multiple times in a turn. Really solid card. I'm glad to see it come back and green have that ability. On to the next. And we get another mythic wild card. And a rare wild card. Let's just keep getting wild cards, guys. I'll be able to build my entire set out of freaking wild cards. Elder Gargaroth. So our other mythic in green, which is a pretty good one. I'm not gonna lie. He's just pretty insane. You get, for 2 green, 3 colorless, you get a 6/6 creature beast with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample right off the bat. Okay, so for 5, you're getting a 6/6 Vigilance, Reach, Trample. And whenever Elder Gargaroth attacks or blocks, choose 1. Create a 3/3 green beast token creature. You gain 3 life, or you draw a card. That's just insane, and you can literally have 4 of those out there at a time, if not more. If you're playing like blue-green, you could make copies of them. But I mean, just think about, oh yeah, here I would have checked. He is definitely going into my fat green freaking Jolly Green Giants deck. I will tell you that, guys. Okay, next pack. We have got Double Vision again. On to the next pack. We've got Solemn Simulacrum. So another bring back, which people are very happy to see. So for 4 colorless, you get a 2/2 artifact creature Golem that when Solemn Simulacrum enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. And then when Solemn Simulacrum dies, you may draw a card. So you're getting land taken out of your deck, put into the battlefield directly, and draw a card when he dies. So, you know, chump blocker, and then you can bring him back from the graveyard many different ways. So, solid card. He will be indexed. He's already indexed in other formats, so he will definitely be in standard. Next pack, guys, we get Basri, the new Planeswalker, Basri Ket. So for 2 white, 1 colorless, you get a legendary Planeswalker, Basri, with 3 loyalty. So for +1, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. It gains indestructible until end of turn. For -2, whenever 1 or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creatures tokens that are tapped and attacking. And when you get an emblem, or for -6, his ultimate is you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Each, guys. So say you pump him up a couple times, right? And then you use his -2, or you have some means of giving him more loyalty counters, and you can set him off real quick. Just like white weenie can become a thing again. Like seriously. Just huge. Alright, next pack, we get Jorel again. On to the next. That's at least 3, so I can't get too many more of her. Another rare wild card. Feline Sovereign. So we will need this in our cat dog deck. Right? So for 1 green, 2 colorless, you get a 2/3 creature cat. That other cats you control get +1/+1 and have protection from dogs. Whenever 1 or more cats you control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. So, I don't know how useful it is yet. I will have to make the deck around it. I mean, obviously, getting the +1/+1 to other cats if you have a lot of cats, which there are, like I think a Johnny's Pridemate is considered a cat soldier or something like that. Cat warrior, something. So as long as they have cat in the creature type, it affects them. So you could find some green-white combo decks that will be going off. On to the next. Almost down to that 100 packs. We are at 108, and we get a Ruined Halo again. That's number 3. On to the next. Containment Priest again. It's at least 2. Next, we get Speaker of the Heavens, so another white. They're giving me a lot of the white rares, guys. I think they're trying to tell me something. They're saying build a white deck. Anyway, Speaker of the Heavens. So for 1 white, you get a 1/1 human cleric with vigilance and lifelink, so you're already ahead of the game. That you tap, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Activate this ability only if you have at least 7 life more than your starting life total, and only anytime you can cast a sorcery. So it has to be on your turn, unless, of course, you have Teferi out. I think he would nullify it, and you could do it on your opponent's turn. So, yeah, another life, especially with the amount of life game that we have right now, I think you will see him in many decks. I know I will be adding him. On to the next pack, guys. We get another Garuk, which I will never complain about getting my mythics unless they're stupid freaking ultimatum mythics. Payment Priest again. On to the next. Lots of duplicates already, guys. Lots. 9 lives. Hopefully that's the last one of that freaking card. It does not have 9 lives. It only has 4 here. Animal Sanctuary again. Another. Wow. Okay. And that puts us at a Glorious Anthem reprint. So, again, another pump spell that affects everything blanket on your side. Creatures you control get +1/+1 for 2 white, 1 colorless. Solid card, and again, it promotes that white weenie effect, I believe. So, expect to see some decks being made with that. I don't know if they'll be tier 1 or tier 2, but expect to see them. Alright, on to the next. We get another Primal Might. And we are down to the 100 packs, guys. So we've gone through 76 packs already. Next rare is a Mythic wild card, because I have all the Mythics already. No, I don't, guys. That is a false statement. Okay, here we go. Chromatic Orrery. So, again, another essential card for Standard, in my opinion. For 7 colorless, you get a legendary artifact where you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color, right? Tap it, add 5 colorless mana into your mana pool, but the effect of the Chromatic Orrery says that's any color. You can have 5 of any color. So you can change it to blue or red or white, and then for 5 colorless and tap, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. So you're going to see 5 color decks that come out with that as a bang. Guaranteed, guys. Guaranteed. Alright, on to the next pack. We have another Thieves Guild Enforcer. Awesome sauce, because we needed another one. On to the next pack, guys. We get another Baron. On to the next. We get another Veto. On to the next. We get another Pack Leader. Oh, at this point, I guess I have covered a lot of the rares. I mean, we haven't seen a Teferi yet, or a Baneslayer Angel. So, again, another much anticipated reprint, because she is just freaking awesome. So, for 2 white, 3 colorless, you get a 5/5 creature angel that has flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons, and protection from dragons. So, wow. Just wow, guys. Yeah, I'm glad she's back. I have always been a fan of the Baneslayer. And on to the next pack. Another Speaker of the Heavens. On to the next. Are we going full Teferi, or are they going to make me spin Mythics to get them? There's another wild. I mean, I pulled one in sealed, but let's see if I actually pull one in packs. Out of 176 packs, let's see if I pull a single stick. There's my 4th Basri, so he's done. On to the next. Okay, new one, Garruk's Harbinger. For 2 green, 1 colorless, you get a 4/3 beast creature that has hexproof from black. All right. Whenever Garruk's Harbinger deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature card or Garruk planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. So, pretty solid. I think I might put them in my Garruk's Giants deck. I mean, for that casting cost, I don't see where I can go wrong. I guess we'll see when we start doing some more deck building. Another Scavenging Ooze. On to the next. Another Terrific Spiteful. On to the next. Yeah, it's going to go real quick from here, guys. Another Volcanic Salvo. On to the next. And we get another Mythic Wild card. Yay. Another Sanctum Ball. On to the next. So many repeats. I'd like some variety, guys. Another Shacklegeist. On to the next. I seriously wonder if they're going to give me Teferi at all. Another Scavenging Ooze. On to the next. That's 3 Scavenging Oozes I know of. Fire Emancipation. On to the next, which is another Mythic, guys. So, it could have been a Teferi, but no. That should be the last Jarail, because I believe that is 4. On to the next. Another Pursued Whale. On to the next. Necromentia. Alright, a new one. So we get 2 black, 1 colorless for a sorcery, a black sorcery. Choose a card name other than a basic land card name. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles their library, then creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each card exiled from their hand this way. From their hand. So if they didn't have any in hand, but they had them in all the other places, they don't get the zombie tokens. So, pretty solid. Like, you play against a control deck and you take out Dream Trawler, it's like, okay. Like, and that's their only win condition. Next pack we get another pack leader. Next pack we get another mythic wild card. On to the next pack. We get another Teferi's Ageless Insight. On to the next. They aren't going to give me Teferi, guys. I guarantee it. Not unless they absolutely have to. We get another Primal Might. I don't think I had enough packs, even with all the rares I already collected, to Ghostly Pilferer. Alright, so for 1 blue, 1 colorless, you get a 2/1 creature Spirit Rogue that has whenever Ghostly Pilferer becomes untapped, you may pay 2 colorless. If you do, draw a card. So every untapped step, you can go ahead and draw an extra card, which obviously would go into effect with other those other draw cards effects that are already in play. Whenever an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. Discard a card. Ghostly Pilferer can't be blocked this turn. So, lots of card draw ability. I expect to see him played. I don't know how often and not what tier yet, but we will probably see him played. Another Conspicuous Snoop. On to the next. Shifting my playset of Conspicuous Snoops. On to the next. Another Garruk's Harbinger. On to the next. Let's, like, every 5 packs we'll get a new card. Double Vision again. On to the next. Stormwing Entity. Alright, so this also will probably show up in my blue-white flyer deck, my Azorius Flyers. He is a 3/3 for 2 blue and 3 colorless creature elemental that has flying and prowess. So prowess is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Where this spell costs 2 colorless and 1 blue less to cast if you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. So you opt and you throw him into play for 1 blue, 1 colorless. And it's very rare you will see a spell's converted mana cost reduced by a colored mana. So when he enters the battlefield, you also get to scry 2. Not too shabby, guys. Not too shabby. Alright, on to the next we get. So that should be my playset of Ruined Halos. On to the next. Another mid. Why can't that be Teferi? I guess I can just go get Teferis now if I want to. Alright, Sporeweb Weaver, a 1/4 for 1 green, 2 colorless. That is a creature spider that has reach and hexproof from blue. That whenever a Sporeweb Weaver is dealt damage, you gain 1 life and create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. So, I mean, solid in draft. I don't know about constructed. Another Necromentia. On to the next. We have gone through 110 packs, guys. Shacklegeist again. We are down to 65 now after this one. Another Animal Sanctuary, which I believe is the playset of those now. On to the next. Pack Leader. Playset of Pack Leaders now. On to the next. Still no Teferi. Another Necromentia. I was like, where'd my pack go? Ah, Zuzu! Lost but Seeking. So another reprint, obviously from Kamigawa, where all the, lost things were. Legendary creature, Human Monk, that for 1 green, 2 colorless, you get a 1/2 that you may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. So really, really mana-centric on that, and that's where I think a blue-green Simic deck will really take shape. On to the next, and it is a rare wild card, because I must have all the rares already. Not. I know I certainly don't have all the mythics. And speaking of which, there is a Massacre Worm. So another bring back from Scars. So for 3 black, 3 colorless, you get a 6/5 creature worm that when Massacre Worm enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 until end of turn. So one-sided board wipe for weenies. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, that player loses 2 life. So if you're up against a mono red or white weenie deck and this thing hits the board, say goodbye, because it's just toast. Alright, on to the next, guys. And it is another Ghostly Pilfer. On to the next. It is another Teferi. I'm going college now. Demonic Embrace. I think that's my place of Demonic Embraces. It is another Teferi. No, Mizuta. On to the next. I'm telling you guys, they aren't going to give me Teferi. I had this happen with another Heroic Intervention. I had this happen with, was it Ikoria? That I didn't get like any of the one Vadric, I think it was. Peer into the Abyss. That should be my playset of those too. On to the next. Subiri again. That's the second one of those, I think. I'm just going to call her Subiri. Third, Garuk's Harbinger. On to the next. Another Idol of Endurance, that's number 3 that I know of. Next, there's third is Subaru. I'm just going to call it Subaru. Let's see, it's another Mythic, so I'm getting my fair share of Mythics across the board, except for Teferi and Ujin. I got 1 Ujin so far. I guess another Glorious Anthem. I guess I should be happy with 1 Ujin. Glad they can give me the shitty mythics across the board. Another See the Truth, but no Teferi or Ujin. Another Necromentia. We are down to 45 packs, guys. Peer into the Abyss. Okay, so I know that was the place that appear now. Another Solemn. I will take my place of Solemn all day long. So I really only need 3 of anything. That's number 3, Niambi. And I think I drafted her, so that might be at the end of Niambi. Okay, here we go. A Brash Taunter. So, 4. Now, you guys are going to be like, what the hell? Why does he cost so much? So, for 1 red, 4 colorless, you get a 1/1 Goblin creature that, okay, wait for it, is indestructible. And whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. So say you got a 10/10 coming over that doesn't have trample, and he's just sitting there, and you block with him, your opponent's taking 10 damage. So Brash Taunter, well, I forget, is the replacement effect or not? I guess I'd have to look it up. You might only be dealing them 1 damage. But he also can tap for 1 red and 2 colorless, and he fights another target creature. He might be viable. I don't think so, but we'll see. He costs just even 2 less. 2 less. I'm not asking for 3 or 4 less, but 2 less. Alright, another new one, finally. Chandra's Incinerator. So for 1 red, 5 colorless, you get an elemental creature, which is usually going to be something of Chandra's, right? That is a 6/6 with trample, and this spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total amount of non-combat damage dealt to your opponent this turn. So you lightning bolt your opponent, it now costs 1 red, 2 colorless. You could do 5 damage with like a volcanic hammer, and it costs 1 red to get him out. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Incinerator deals that much damage to target creature or planeswalker that player controls. So if you got a pinger or something, or even with frickin' Cavalcade, right? But I got to read the text on Cavalcade again and see if it's actually Cavalcade that does damage or if it's a creature, because that would make a big difference. But you could possibly see this in decks, especially some mono red decks. I'm not sure, but it's a possibility it could turn out. Alright, and we get a repeat of Hooded Blightfang. We're down to 40 packs, guys. 40 packs, and Teferi still has not shown anything. We get plenty of mythic wild cards, which I could easily have replaced with all 4 Teferi. That should be my playset of Scavenging News. Ooh, I got Rewards to claim. We're just going to keep building that up. Glorious Anthem. I should just let that sit until I actually need it. See how big I can get it. Gadrick and Crown Scourge. So another newbie, and I think there is a red mythic dragon too that we haven't seen yet. So a couple mythics we haven't seen, but this one is a 5/4 legendary creature dragon for one red, 2 colorless, mind you. Okay. 1 red, 2 colorless for a 5/4 legendary creature dragon with flying that says Gadrick the Crown Scourge can attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. So have a bunch of... Think about him with... what the hell is his name? I can't even think of his name now. The one guy that... creates tokens when they die. So you just kill off your creatures, get satire tokens or whatever, but he also pumps himself up. So, or it could be obviously used in some type of artifact deck or green-red deck with Gilded Goose, and you just start pumping out food tokens. Could be interesting. Or a black-red with food tokens to sacrifice to the oven. Alright, on to the next. We get a last of our playset of the Root Harbinger. Next, Heroic Intervention. I believe that's number 3. If not, I think I had one, so that could be a playset. On to the next. Sublime Epiphany again. On to the next. I'm telling you guys, they aren't going to give me another. They aren't going to give me a Teferi or another Ute. They're going to give me these rare wild cards or mythic wild cards instead. Next. Okay, we got Liliana Standard Bearer. So, for 1 black, 2 colorless, you get a 3/1 creature zombie knight that has flash, and when Liliana Standard Bearer enters the battlefield, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. Notice it does say under your control. It's not opponent, so it would have to be on your phase more than likely, unless you're blocking a lot. Alright, another new one. Finally, Spark Hunter Masticore. We're getting a couple of the new ones. For 3 colorless, you get a 3/4, mind you, a 3/4 artifact creature Masticore. But as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, which you could discard a land card, you know. So, I mean, the cost is pretty much equivalent, but it has protection from planeswalkers, so no bounce from Teferi, no target from Vraska, you know, all sorts of good positive things with that protection from planeswalkers. For 1 colorless, you can make Spark Hunter Masticore deal 1 damage to target planeswalker. And for 3 colorless, Spark Hunter Masticore gains indestructible until end of turn. So, pretty good card. I expect to see him used in a few decks. He will take time to find a home, but he will find a home. There's the mythic red dragon that I was talking about, Terror of the Peaks. So for 2 red and 3 colorless, you get a 5/4 creature dragon that has flying, obviously, the dragon, right? Spells your opponent cast that target Terror of the Peaks cost an additional 3 life to cast. Not mana, life. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So that could be a planeswalker, a player, or a creature. So a creature-centric deck with this is probably very viable, and we will see. On to the next guys. I'm glad I got to discuss it a little bit. Didn't know if I was going to. Still haven't seen this Teferi. There's number 3 of my playset of similar proms. And we get another, what? Glorious Anthem. That should be 3 of those. On to the next. Another Garuk. I think that's 3 Garuks. Alright, and we're down 25 packs. There's my last Nyamba, whatever. Another Sublime Epiphany, that's 3. Elder Gargaroth, I think that's 3 of those. Like, they keep giving me Mythics, but they won't give me Teferi. For the love of God, they will not give me Teferi. I want to know, when you guys are opening packs, if you pull Teferi, like if you open multiple packs, see if you've got Teferi, because I don't know what the algorithm is. It's like, no, we are not giving you Teferi. Alright, we got Transmogrify, which is a new one. 1 red, 3 colorless for a red sorcery. Exile target creature. That creature's controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. That player puts that card onto the battlefield, then shuffles the rest into their library. I'd really want to say that would be useful against a blue-white deck, but I'm not sure. Like the ones where they have the Elspeth scrolls that create a wall token, you exile that and then they go through like their entire deck because they don't have any creatures. It'd be interesting to find out. Another Radha. Down to 20 packs, guys. Another Chandra's Incinerator. What does this build up to? Ooh, we're up to 123. I wonder if that ever changes, though. From 1 mythic, 2 rare, and 3 uncommon. Alright, on to the next. I guess I'll just keep keeping track of it. Another Basri. So they're giving me Basris and everything. Cool. Another Hooded Blight thing. Who are the other... aren't there other Planeswalkers in this set? I swear there are. Isn't there a Liliana in this set that I haven't seen? Another Volcanic Sabo. So it's up again, but I still haven't gained any more cards. Another Gadrick. Because usually in core sets they have Planeswalker of each color. Teferi obviously is blue. Garuk is green. We got Basri for white, who replaced Gideon, because Gideon's dead. And Chandra is red. Chandra's in the set. And Liliana, I think. Liliana's in black, and I haven't seen either. I guess we'll look after another Spark Hunter Master Core. Another Spark Hunter Master Core. And next. We're down to 10 packs, guys. Playset of Spark Hunter Master Cores complete. My playset of Solemn Simulacrons complete. Another Mythic. Instead of giving me Teferi, they're like, hey, we don't want you to see Teferi. We'll just give you a Mythic wildcard instead. Piss you off. We know what we're doing. Liliana Standard Bearer. Again, I don't think we're going to get anything new, guys, unless it's a Fairy pops up or a Ghostly Pilfer or a Chandra. We haven't seen, like, I haven't seen any of those. Pursued Whale. Another gold. How many rare wild cards? 99 rare wild cards I have. There's a Liliana. I knew she was in here somewhere. So Liliana, Waker of the Dead. So for 2 black, 2 colorless, you get a 4 loyalty Planeswalker, legendary Planeswalker, Liliana. that has +1. Each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. -3, target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. And last but not least, -7, you get an emblem with at the beginning of your combat on your turn. Put target creature card from graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. So that emblem is freaking sweet. As for the rest, I don't know. I guess strategies can work where you have make them discard their hand and still they'll lose 3 life, and you pump her up. I don't know. And obviously the removal of -3. All right, 3 packs left, guys. Is Teferi going to be in one of them? I will I'll wager odds not. There's another mythic rare, but no Teferi. On to the next. Chandra's Incinerator. Alright guys, last pack. We're at 139% on our vault progress. Let's see if it's Teferi. Niambai! I thought I had 4 of you already. Wow. Okay guys. So let's go and look real quick. No, I don't want profile, I want decks. I hit the wrong button. So let's look at my collection. And let's filter out not collected for Corsa 2021. So no Mangara, no. Well, I think that's in the Planeswalker deck. So is the Adherent of Hope. So and the Sigiled Contender. As is so these, except for Mangara, I think the rest of these are, yeah, these are all the Planeswalker decks. So the only one I didn't really get for white, any of, mind you, is Mangara. Okay. For blue, that's in the starter deck, as are all of these, I believe. Yeah, all of those. No discontinuity is actually in the regular sets, and I did not get it. I didn't get any Grim Tutors. None, guys. No Chandras. No Chandra's Heart of Fire. None. Those are all. I got everything green-wise, at least one of. Yeah, I didn't get any of these because in no Fabled Passage. But I mean, if I look at ones that I did have not collected, but let's look at collected, and how many I got of each of some of these. So I mean, look, I mean, how did I not get more than one Selfless Savior for the dogs? Because they want me to spend my uncommons. I don't want to spend any of my 305 uncommon wild cards. Still got a couple Speaker of the Heavens. Across the board, a couple Basries that I will need probably, or at least one more Basri. But yeah, collected all of those. Whee! All 4 of all of those, all 4 except for Baneslayer. Baneslayer I only have 1, so we'll probably get a playset of that as we go along. Didn't get a 4th Ghostly Pilferer or uncommon Riddle Form. I only have 1. What the hell? How does that even happen? Alright, we still need a couple Baron. And 1 more Teferi's Tutelage. I don't know how or why we didn't get 4 of those. And of course Teferi. So I had 2. But no more. None drawn. 2 mana common. I still need 2. I don't know if I can afford that. I actually have more uncommons than I do commons. Wild cards. Yep, all good there. Archfiend's Vessel, so an uncommon, which is very popular, by the way, right now. I only got 1 of. I love how, like, cards that are being used in decks, no, we'll just give them 1. Tolarian Kraken, another uncommon, I only got 1 of. Witch's Cauldron, all that good stuff. Didn't get a third Tavern Swindler or 2 more Sanctum Stone Fangs. Or a Malefic Scythe, I need 1 more. 1 more Standard Bearer. I knew I had plenty of Devotees. 2 more of Veto. 1 more Kervik. 2 more Liliana. Because I had 1 from the starter, or the sealed. Probably need, yep, 2 more Massacre Worms. Red across the board, pretty good. 1 more Immolator uncommon. Everything else, yep, we're all good there. 2 more of the Gadrick. 2 more of the uncommon Sanctum of Shattered Heights. 1 more Soul Seer. I'm telling you guys, some of this is just freaking ridiculous. 1 more Battle Rattle Shaman. Let's see, we got 3 more Terror of the Peaks that I'll need to get, because that will probably be a very solid card. 1 more Incinerator. 2 more uncommon Hellkite Punishers. 2 more Fiery Emancipations, because it's a mythic, I understand that. Volcanic Salvo. So I opened 176 packs, plus did 4 drafts and 1 sealed. So I mean, minimum amount that I mean 176 packs is equivalent to what you're talking, like 5 boxes, almost a case in real Magic terms, or paper Magic terms. 2 more Skyway Snipers. Like, how does that even happen, guys? I guarantee in a case, in fact, I can prove it that in a case, you should have at least a playset of every uncommon and common. If not every rare. Most rares you will have a playset of. Azusa, 1 more of her. 1 more Spore Web Weaver, or 2 more Spore Web Weavers. Where was Garuk? I don't see Garuk. And I know we got him. Oh, there he is. Why is he after? I don't know. Okay. Oh, casting cost. Duh, that's why. Yep, got the playset there. Got to get 2 more uncommon Watcher of the Spheres, which is one of the cards I want. Love that. Temple of Epiphany, because I do have the others. I don't think, yeah, it's not going to show me because I already have some of those collected. Radha, Heart of Keld. Need 1 more of her. Leafkin Avenger. Conclave Mentor, I'm happy I got my 4 there. Not that it matters, it's uncommon. Looks like we are all good there. All good there. On Solemns, nice. I know I'm going to need more Chromatic Orreries. More Ujins. Really? Aven Gagglemaster. An uncommon, and I need 3 more to get my playset. That is freaking insane, guys. Fungal Rebirth, really? Another uncommon that I need 3 more of? Wow. And last but not least, Obsessive Stitcher. Ren and Syria I will have to purchase because those were not in packs. But I got 2 from buying the bundle. Anyways, guys, so and then I'm at 139. I think we're just going to let that keep building. I want to see exactly, like, over a year how much I can get into that, because I don't obviously need any of those. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. We will do the daily grind here afterwards, so you will see this video probably first, and then we might do some deck construction and then do our daily grind, especially since it's white or black. For both. So I probably will do at least the humans build that I want to do, or vampire build. Once again, I want to thank everybody for watching. And I forgot to mention this. This is a long video, so I forgot to mention this at the beginning, which I got to get used to. Please, guys, subscribe to the channel. like the video, leave comments below, because there is a giveaway. And every 50 subscribers, I will be giving away free packs or sleeves, either arena codes or physical cards and packs and sleeves, if that's what you desire, or even Fortnite skins. So please subscribe. Every 50 subscribers, we will be doing a giveaway. Get your grandma to subscribe, get your kids to subscribe, you know, get them watching off of Roly Poly and just subscribe. This is not a kids channel by any means, but they can still subscribe and not have turn notifications off or block the channel from them, whatever you want to do. But as long as I get 50 subscribers, every 50 subscribers, we'll be doing a drawing. So remember that, and as always, guys, take care of yourselves and one another. Have a wonderful day.